All right, I am right on time today, you guys. Hell yeah, right on time. All right, I need to move this little camera or this little microphone. We're gonna put it. Let's try right here. I just don't trust that I'm not gonna touch it. 1 minute, I touched. Okay, I found the spot. I found the spot. 1 sec. I don't even think I need this, but like it's a little bit nicer quality, so we're gonna go for it. All right. Make sure that should be good. It should be okay there. You guys, is my mic okay? Will you guys, someone just throw it in the chat. I'd really appreciate if you guys would just say yes or throw a Y in there. It'd really make my day just to make sure the mic's okay because I'm just starting up. I got a new microphone. I want to make sure it sounds clear. All right. So let me get this all situated. Black and gray are my colors, you guys. All right. Welcome. So I assume that you guys can hear. That's good. So yeah, anybody want to let me know if this sounds okay? If you guys can hear this, will you just let me know it sounds clear because I cannot hear it from my perspective. If you guys want to throw like a Y in the chat, that'd be great. I'd really appreciate that. So welcome. So again, if anybody can hear me, if you guys can hear me okay, will you just let me know? Someone just let me know. Validate me. Thank you, Cece. I really do appreciate you, girl. Like seriously, you a true player. All right. So welcome to my live, guys. So we're gonna be on here for an hour and a half. I'm doing this regularly from now on, Monday through Friday, moving forward, 9:30 to 11 Eastern time. So I'm trying to build an actual community of people who want to understand life coaching, who want to get life coaching, and I'm trying to make these tools accessible to everyone. In my experience, I have gotten therapy, I've gotten coaching, and I will tell you, I've paid like literally tens of thousands of dollars for life coaching over the last couple of years, and I think that should change. I think that people should be able to access these tools for an affordable amount that isn't literally making them make decisions on thousands of dollars. So, and this is my mission, this is what I do. I'm starting a school community. If anybody wants to be part of that community, I'm going to teach you my foundational training. Right now I'm trying to decide if it's going to be a free community or like a $7 community. So I have a call today with somebody that's an expert that's gonna help me figure that out. But if you guys are interested and you want to join a life coaching community where you're learning real life coaching tools to help you with your relationships, your vices, your direction, motivation, relationship with yourself, I'd love to have you. And these lives are just for me to add value in any way, shape, or form that I can, to give you any life coaching tools that I can just while you're here on TikTok. So if you guys are interested in joining the community, let me know. I'll give you my little DM. You guys can just like put a yes in the DM or say, hey, I'm interested, and I will DM you personally when I get the community up and running. But as of right now, I'm working on the tools. It'll take me about another week, probably maybe a couple days to get the community up, and I would love to have you. So until then, you guys ask about anything on my right. You can ask about whatever you got going on and we'll talk about it, okay? So CTM, I overeat a lot. Okay, so what you should know about overeating is it's an emotional problem, all right? So yes, it's important to understand that there are certain foods in society like sugar, flour, any kind of the white powders that have been engineered to be overeaten, right? Our brain really likes those foods. It's easy to get addicted to those. But whenever I'm eating more food than my body needs, when my body's telling me I'm full, it's because there's an emotion in my body I'm trying to change. And what happens often is that we're using food to change it. I used to be morbidly obese when I was a kid. Literally, I was diagnosed with morbid obesity when I was 13 years old. I am Italian American. We are eaters. So if you have a problem where you're having an issue with anything, any chemical, food, alcohol, nicotine, I have to talk carefully on here or I'll get banned. It's an emotional problem, always, okay? So again, if you want to quit smoking, the same thing, right? My thoughts create my emotions, drive my actions. So if I currently am taking an action I don't want to be taking, like smoking, yes, there's a chemical element. Everyone knows that nicotine's addictive, right? But that's not the whole picture. There's actually 3 things we need to get in control if we're going to quit a vice. We have to manage our thoughts, our emotions, and understand how the chemical works so that we can prepare ourselves to quit, okay? So if you want help quitting smoking or vaping, I do have a course. It's in my bio. Even if you don't get the course, if you go through the sales page and at least read through, it's going to give you a ton of value for free. In addition, if you are interested in joining my community, I don't know if it's going to be a very low ticket like $7 a month or free, you can always DM me. I'd love to have you. And we'll build a community together learning these tools so you can apply them in various areas of your life, okay? Well, I knew that I just don't know how to stop fixing emotions. Yeah, okay, so if you want to fix the emotions, you have to understand there's 3 different ways to deal with your emotions, okay? With anybody. You can either resist them, allow them, or numb them. Right now you're using food to numb them, right? I'm just having this experience, I don't want to deal with it. So one of the biggest things to understand is like emotions themselves aren't a problem. The reason why so many people have issues with different various chemicals, alcohol, food, etc. in our society is because we've been told that emotions are bad and that we should never feel bad ones. That's the problem. So before you learn how to feel your emotions, you really have to surrender to the idea that it's okay to feel them. Most people aren't doing that, and that's why they're trying to get out of them as quickly as possible. Make sense? So if you want to If you want to solve your emotional problems, which emotions themselves aren't a problem, you have to learn how to manage your thoughts around your emotions. And then also, sometimes when it's okay to think thoughts that create negative emotion, we have to learn how to be okay with the emotions, right? This is a practice. Literally feeling your emotions is a practice. It's not difficult work, it's just uncomfortable work. So like if you want an exercise to sit with your emotions, like when you want to eat today, Lewd World, when you're having a craving to eat because you're emotionally uncomfortable, take a deep breath, go sit down in the corner and just literally breathe into it for a minute and ask yourself, like, what does it actually feel like in my body to experience this emotion? But I would say name it too. You're probably not even aware of what emotion you're feeling, and that's a beautiful first step. Sit down, take a deep breath. Where's this vibration in my body? What's actually going on for me right now that's true for my body that's making me want to escape myself so bad? Okay. Beauty and wellness. Anxiety is controlling my life. Would love insight. Yeah, so here's what I want to offer to you. There's two different kinds of anxiety, okay? This is the most simple way I can explain it. There's a normal amount of anxiety, that's non-abnormal, that's normal anxiety, and then there's an abnormal amount of anxiety, okay? 99% of people are in the normal amount of anxiety category. Now the problem in general society is that the clinical world does a really good job at making us think that any anxiety is a problem, okay? So when I have a normal emotion in my body, like anxiety, and I think it's a problem, me trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist creates problems. Does that make sense? Imagine if I was taking medication for an ailment I didn't have, right? I would be getting the negative effects of medication for no reason. In addition, I would be creating illness in my mind because I'd be thinking that I'm sick when I might not be, okay? So one of the biggest things I can help you with anxiety is like, first of all, if you're actually serious about helping yourself with that issue, DM me because you can join my community. It's going to be either free or very, very low ticket, like $7. And I'm going to help you understand your emotions and how to deal with them so that you can solve all these problems, okay? But if you want to deal with your emotional problem, the first step really is like asking yourself, what if this was a normal experience in my body? What would your life look like if you no longer thought that anxiety was a problem, right? And this is how you can know. If your anxiety is so intense that you're literally non-functioning, then you might have a clinical issue. But most people aren't there. Most people have a normal amount of anxiety. It's completely normal. And then because they think it's wrong to have that anxiety, they push away from it and they create problems that don't exist. So you might have a normal anxiety situation that isn't a problem at all, but you're creating a problem because you think that you shouldn't be anxious ever. So then you are making yourself believe there's something wrong with you when there probably isn't, okay? Again, there is a clinical amount of anxiety. I'm not polarized on that. I do see value in the clinical world, but more often than not, when it comes to anxiety, I think the clinical world does more damage than good. Okay? So thanks for I love the comments. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so let me see where I'm at. Okay, Hunter Biden's laptop. I'm a death coach. Okay, so I for sure know you're a troll, right? One sec. Let's get rid of him. We're here for actually growth today. I don't want to deal with haters today or trolls. Not my vibration. Pour some sugar. I definitely need some relationship advice. Yeah, the biggest advice I can give you on relationships is stop giving control to your partner for the way you're feeling. It is not your partner's responsibility to make you feel good, valued, worthy, and loved. It's not. I know that a lot of people have been told that, but that's the biggest lie that creates relationship issues. You are responsible for your emotions. We do not date somebody to make us feel loved. If we do, then we're reliant on them to make us feel loved, and then they have to show up in a certain way for us to feel good, and then we create all these issues because we're mismanaging our own emotions. Make sense? If you want to get more specific on what you need help with, let me know, but that will help you. And also, if anybody wants to join my community, DM me really fast, DM me and say, hey, I would be interested in joining your community so that when I have it, it's going to be out in about a week. It's going to have the foundational trainings I teach all my clients for very affordable or free. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. Then you can get in, start learning, and every single month I'm going to put out a new course just like this to help you with these goals. It's going to be amazing. All right, because I'm trying to make life coaching accessible to everyone so that you don't have to pay a high ticket price to get the tools that I'm teaching. Because I think that these tools should be available to everyone. And I think they should be taught everywhere. All right, so need some advice on vaping. Yes, vaping has 3 issues, okay? There's an emotional issue, there's a mental issue with your thoughts, and there's also a chemical issue. If you want to quit for good and actually have control over it for the longevity without resisting the willpower, the desire to vape all the time, you have to deal with all 3 emotions or issues, okay? Chemical, emotional, mental. If you want help with that, I can't talk much on it because when I start using certain words, TikTok will ban me. They'll restrict my live. But if you want help, go to my bio and there's a link at the very end of the link tree called Escape the Vape. You can read that. There's also a video that explains everything, okay? Where I'm allowed to talk a little more freely. Cooked. What's up, Dan? It's a niche problem. It's a problem. It's debilitating for me and nothing has helped except for medication. What are you talking about? You're talking about anxiety? Well, so here's the thing though. Even if you have a clinical issue with anxiety, medication is not going to treat it. It's going to cover up the symptoms. So even though medication is beautiful and there's a place for it, you still want to go and get the therapy to deal with what's creating the anxiety. Anxiety doesn't just happen, right? There's reasons it's going off. Like, every emotion is important. Every emotion has a purpose. So if you, instead of trying to numb the emotion, like what you're doing with medication, we actually find out where it's coming from and deal with the problem, it'll solve the problem for the rest of your life. I'm not saying that you won't ever take medication again, but I'm saying that you won't have to for the rest of your life. And also medication, obviously, there's negative side effects to it, and it's not solving the problem. It's not teaching you any active skill sets to deal with anything. So I don't believe that medication is the one solution to any psychological issue, because it's only ever covering up symptoms. It's not treating you how to solve. Again, clinical world's amazing. Medication's great. There's a time and a place. Maybe just not the only treatment you're doing, because it isn't treatment. It's symptom covering, okay? It's important to understand that in mental health. All right, I'm stuck in a constant cycle of lying. I'm on Shawnee Boy, to everyone I know because of people-pleasing anxiety. Yeah, so you have a relationship with yourself problem, right? What you're doing is, I am scared that I won't be liked for who I really am. So I'm going to lie to the world so that I can manipulate what they think of me, because I'm scared that if I'm really myself, I won't be loved. That's a problem you have with your own relationship with yourself, okay? If you want help with that, DM me, let's join my community, and I'll teach you tools to not people please. And you just gave me an idea. I have to write this down because I'm coming up with courses, and that's a really good one. People pleasing is a really, really good topic that most people have an issue with, because in modern society, most people have been taught to people please because we don't know how our emotions work in modern society. So that's the thing. We need to learn how our emotions work, and then we'll stop people pleasing so that we can actually create lives that we want. Now, the problem with people pleasing, the irony in it, right, is that when I show up and I lie to people so that I don't get rejected, I actually reject myself, what I actually want, what I believe is true. And that's the irony of people pleasing, is that it creates the exact result we don't want in the worst way. So let me just write down people pleasing. I think that's a great idea for a course. I will come out with that. It'll be so good. It'll be so good. All right. Overeating is okay, so let's do spiritual aspiration. And I have just a couple comments and I'll be caught up. So if you guys are here, I'll get you, okay? Overeating is an underfeeling problem, all right? So what's actually happening is when my body is physically full of food, I am eating over emotions and no longer physical hunger. So it's important to understand, if you want to stop overeating, you have to know what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. That's exactly what I'll help you learn in the community, okay? I have foundational trainings that will help you understand where your emotions are coming from, why they're happening, how to deal with them without needing to turn to food, okay? So if you're interested in that, I would love to help you. DM me, and I will, that you're interested. I have a community. It's going to be either $7 a month or just free. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to talk to an expert on community building today, and then I'll let you know. But regardless of what the cost of the community is, the whole entire mission behind it is bringing life coaching tools of the highest quality to everyone accessibly. So if that sounds good to you and you like what I'm talking about, you're a beautiful candidate for my community. I'd love to have you there. Okay. So I am on... thanks, Cool Breeze, for sharing live. Alex, do you work in conjunction with therapists and psychologists? I don't prefer to do it at the same time. I think that you should only be listening to one person at a time. So here's what I recommend. If you've never gotten mental treatment at all and you're not sure whether what you're going through is abnormal psych or clinical, I would recommend you go to therapy or the clinical world first. Okay, I just don't believe it's good to listen to two mentors at the same time, because what we're going to say is going to conflict a little bit because we have different styles, right? You have to imagine, like, the clinician is treating from a clinical view and I am not treating anything. I'm looking at you as a perfectly worthy, to conflict a little bit because we have different styles, right? You have to imagine, like, the clinician is treating from a clinical view and I am not treating anything. I'm looking at you as a perfectly worthy whole. I'm going to say most of the time is going to have some conflicting logically worthy whole. I'm going to say most of the time is going to have some conflicting logic style. And if therapy and clinical world's working, then why would you need to get a second thing at the moment, right? If you guys hear talking, let me know. There's somebody in the next room talking on a meeting and I can hit the door, but if it's not, that's not a big deal. Okay, pour some sugar. What should I do if my boyfriend always makes me the bad guy and doesn't defend me from others? Why do you need defending, right? Here's the thing. I just genuinely concerned, right? If you don't like how your boyfriend's showing up, you have two options, okay? You can either try to change him and argue with him, which obviously you've tried, that's not gonna work, right? Or you can just be okay with how he is and love him unconditionally, which is hard for most people because our ego gets in the way, right? But listen, if you're dating a guy, you can either try to make him something he's not, or you can just accept him. One's going to lead to resentment, the other one's going to lead to a potentially open, vulnerable relationship, right? The only difference is whether or not we want our ego to get in the way. Does that make sense? Okay, I am on, thanks for the follow, Brittany. Does codependency cause self-sense? I don't know what that means, self-sense. I have no idea what that means, Lisa. Could you explain that one? You see valid, I am. Thanks for the follows, guys. By the way, if anybody wants to join my community, DM me so that when it comes out, I can like get you in there and get you all set up and make sure you have everything you need to start learning this. Okay. I don't know what gooning means. I really don't know what gooning means. Is it like trolling? Do I have suggestions for how to stop overeating? Yeah, learn how to differentiate physical hunger from emotional discomfort. That's the technical advice I would give you. Sorry, the dog's barking. Same thing with gambling, right? It's like right now, the reason why you're gambling is because when you're not gambling, you don't like the way you feel. Sorry if you guys can hear my dog. He doesn't like the dryer. So whenever people load things in the dryer, he loses it. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah, so here's what I offer to you. If you are in a compulsion to gamble, check in really fast before, just like the 1 second before you wanted to gamble with what you were just thinking, because what you're thinking creates your emotions. So when I have a thought and creates an emotion, if it's an uncomfortable emotion, a lot of the times we've trained ourselves that when I have an uncomfortable emotion, I need to get out of it, and gambling is a great way to do it. Make sense? I'm sick right now, which I do. Let yourself heal. Don't make it a problem. It's not a problem. It's the ebb and flow of life, completely normal. Ari, moving out at 17 next month. I feel so lost. I'm still not sure what I'm doing. How do I adapt? Well, stop telling yourself that you're lost, because I don't think you are lost. You want to move out, you're moving out. That sounds like a very clear direction to me, okay? You don't have to have everything figured out at 17 years old. I'm 29, I'm still figuring it out. It's all good. You know, the only difference is that I stopped making it a problem to be exactly where I was. That's it. You know, we're trained and we're conditioned by Hollywood and all these movies that we need to have this clear path and it has to be immaculate and giant. It's like, it doesn't. The path you're on is perfectly where you're supposed to be. How do I know? Because you're there. And arguing with reality isn't going to help you, right? Like trying to say I should, shouldn't, whatever. Whenever a should thought comes in your mind, that thought is designed to make you suffer. It's not true, right? So I think that you're not lost. I think you're exactly perfectly where you're supposed to be, and it's a beautiful thing to do. So just, what's your next step? Logically, what's your next step? Without making it mean something about where you're supposed to be in life. What's up, Hick? I'm about to relapse. Well, I wouldn't recommend that you choose to think that, or else you are going to relapse. That thought is optional. It's going to lead to the result you don't want. Remarkable. I like self-motivation. Yeah, it's not a self-motivation problem. It's that you don't actually believe that if you take action, it'll be worthwhile. That's the problem. If every single person listening, there's 46 of us, right? If we all fundamentally believe that our goals were guaranteed, our dreams were guaranteed if we took action, we'd all take action. The problem is that you lack self-belief, which manifests as a motivation issue. That's exactly right. And that's exactly the skill set I will help you learn and cultivate if you join my community for either free or $7 a month. I don't know what I'm charging yet, but whichever one it is, it'll be well worth the investment and the time, and I'll teach you everything I can about how to trust yourself and make your opinion more important than other people's. Okay? I keep overeating on saw. Well, just stop smoking. And the reason, so that you have an emotional problem, right? It's like I have these emotions I don't want to deal with, so instead of dealing with them, I get high, which isn't a problem, but that's what's happening. I mean, if we're looking at it completely objectively, right? Emotions drive action. Uncomfortable emotions drive undesirable actions, right? That's what happens. So it's like instead of dealing with the emotions, you're just getting high. And then once you're high, it's like, oh, well, forget it. I'm already high. I might as well eat whatever I want, right? So both of those issues are emotional, right? Because you're still having emotions when you're high. You might have the munchies because chemicals, but you're still emotionally eating, right? So John G. Megan, I have postpartum depression. I'm trying to be motivated to be a better wife and mom. Listen, why do you think that you're not already? What I think that people don't realize is that, and I'm going to make a course on this in my community, by the way, because I went through depression and life coaching is what brought me out of it, not therapy. Depression is mostly an issue with our thoughts. Like, it is a chemical issue sometimes, especially postpartum. Like, it's real. I'm not saying depression isn't real, but you have so much more control over it than you think by learning to manage your own thoughts. If you're sitting there just ruminating on all these thoughts that are horrible, it's like, stop. Do yourself the favor of asking yourself, is this thought true? Is it true right now that I'm not a good mom? Right? Because you're trying to solve for a problem that I don't believe is true. I'm a bad mom and wife. It's like, wait, why do you think that? And if you actually develop this skill set of like separating out the facts of your life from what you think, you'll see that most of the things you think are just not true and they're creating so much suffering. And if you want to learn the skill set, Megan, for a really ridiculously either $3 or $7, get into my community. DM me here. I'll put it in that because you're such a beautiful candidate for the community that I have, and I would love to have you. So DM me, say, hey, I'm interested, and when I have the community, I'll invite you personally to join, and I'll teach you how to manage your thoughts so that you're not sitting here ruminating over what a bad mom you are when I don't believe that's true. Okay? It's exactly right. So hopefully that helps, Megan. All right, one sec. I'm going to try to get going. I'm so sorry. I got a little bit behind. Pano, I don't want to cause problems over little things to my boyfriend, but I don't want things to build up. Okay, so here's what I want to offer. Take responsibility for your emotions in the relationship, all right? Don't blame them for how you're feeling, and then say what you need to say from a neutral place. hey, it's not your fault. I'm not angry. I love you either way, but I don't like that you're not taking out the trash. And I don't want to take out the trash. So what can we do to make this not resentful for either of us? See how you're not blaming, you're not shaming? That's right. What's up, Carson? Do I take some kind of a DRUG right now? I wouldn't recommend it. Or at least if you do, check the reason you're doing it. Make sure you like the emotions driving it. That's all. How to quit za. Learn what emotions figure out what emotions you're currently avoiding with za. That's exactly right. Most likely that you don't like a lot of things in your life, like your job, your relationships, your financial life, so you're just using za to avoid all of that. And it's not conscious that we do that, right? Like overeaters aren't overeating because they're like, oh, I'm so anxious right now. It's like, no, I can't stop myself. I don't know what's driving it. Well, it's emotional, right? And what creates your emotions, your thoughts, okay? I don't know if I want to quit vaping. That's not a problem. What I want to offer to you is that the tools I teach will allow you to quit or to at least create a healthier relationship, right? Every single substance problem is an emotional problem. So if you want to solve for that emotional problem, you can learn. I am not anti-nicotine, is what I'm trying to say. I still vape sometimes when somebody has one. If a friend has one, I'm at a party, whatever, I'll hit a vape. But I no longer have control issues over it. And it doesn't create a relationship issue with myself. So if you want to get to that point, go to the link in my bio, click on the Escape the Vape link, and it'll help you understand how to get to that point where you're not polarized with never. I think somebody who thinks they never need to use like nicotine again actually doesn't know what the actual problem is beneath the surface. So, how to quit vaping? Yes, addicted for 5 years. Maya, go to my bio, and there's a thing called Escape the Vape. And also, Maya, if you're not ready to buy the $97 course I have, what I recommend is that you get into my community. So, like here. Anybody who's interested in like what I'm doing, it's going to be a movement. It's going to be the best like low ticket to free coaching community in the world. I'm really trying to get there. Get in my community. I'll teach you basic tools for almost nothing or for free. I'm not sure yet. I have a call today, and then I will help you, okay? And then hopefully the free value I add will be enough to help you quit. All right. Finding that purpose is hard for me. No kids, no life, just going through the motions. All right. Let me make sure, Gio, I didn't skip someone's comment. One sec. I did skip some comments. One sec. I'm so sorry. Tell us about my life. Is it great? It's getting there. Is it perfect? No. I live back at my parents' house. I'm making like 40 grand a year in my business, and I'm working on it. But I have complete faith it will be great. So it's all good. Any tip? And we all start somewhere, right? And I've only been doing this for like almost 2 years. So any tips in losing weight? Yes. Feel your emotions and have a clear goal that you want to get to and a motivational, emotionally charged reason for getting there. How can I stop my temptation to eat chips and junk food? Have a reason not to. You're always gonna be tempted to, by the way. I think that part of the issue is not making yourself feel wrong for having those cravings is a huge thing, because most people are eating over shame. So if we remove the shame for having cravings, it helps us tremendously overcome them. Okay. 18 days sober. Nice job, Grumpy Moose. Hey, that's worth celebrating. Okay, how can I stop my temptation to eat? Yes, so we did that. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the comments. I'm so sorry. You're spamming and it's rude. Yeah, I'm trying, guys. Sorry. It's been 7 months since graduating college, and I still live at home. That's no problem. I live at home. I just moved back home. I lived on my own for 2 years while I ran my business, and I decided that right now when rent is $1,500 and my parents literally have an open room, I'll move back for a year or a couple months even. What's the problem, right? Don't make it a problem. Like literally, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 29 years old, and I'm calling myself a life coach, and I believe that I'm a life coach, and I believe that sometimes the best thing for us to do is to make the most logical decisions while we figure out the next step. It's not a problem. You know, no matter where you are in life, and I'm living proof of this, and I try really hard to be living proof of this, don't allow yourself to shame yourself, because shame's just not going to help you. It's going to make the problem worse. So if I make the decision to move back home with mom and dad, and then I shame myself, it's going to make me get no benefits of being here, because I'm going to go in shame spirals instead of saying to myself with pride, this is a decision that makes sense for me right now. And honestly, here's what I want to say to you is like, I don't mind being around my family. I don't want to be forever, honestly. I want my own life, like, right? I'm going to move to Austin at some point and start dating again, and I don't want to date right now. It's just a choice I'm making because I'm living at home with my parents. I don't want to date. I'm not in a place where I want to receive that kind of attention. I don't want it. But I'm not going to shame myself for where I'm at. It's always optional. It never helps, right? Shame is always optional. It never helps. That's my quote for the day. I'll write that down somewhere. Here, one sec. Shame. Always. I love when I quote myself. It's kind of fun. So if you want help, guys, and what I'm saying makes sense to you, I have a community that I'm building. It's going to be open in probably about 3 to 5 days. So I would love to have you. Sorry, I'm writing another quote. It's going to be either free or $7 a month. I don't know yet. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I'm trying to make life coaching accessible for everyone, because I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaching over the last couple of years, and I just don't believe that that's necessary to get the transformation. I think that we can help without it. All right. Okay, so one sec. I'm almost getting back to the comments. I'm so sorry, guys. Can you make a better looking website? I'm working on it. I make all my own websites and everything. And honestly, Alex, I've been doing it for 2 years, and I will at some point make a better one. But that's not my focus right now. My focus is creating community and using other people's tech to do that. So it's not a big focus. But I get what you're saying. At some point, I will. Alex, are you a Virgo, by the way? I'm just curious. All right. So now I'm right back to you, Gio. I'm so sorry to make you wait. Finding that purpose is hard for me. No kids, no love. Okay. So purpose doesn't come from anything external. All right, one of my favorite people in the world, his name is Viktor Frankl, and this man literally went through a Nazi death camp. Like, he went through 3 of them, all right? And he has a therapy called logotherapy. And if you want to get a book, Gio, I recommend, it's called Man's Search for Meaning. And what I want to offer to you is, you find, and there's a lot of people who agree with this, spiritually, existentially, right, existentially, you find purpose through suffering. So right now, if you are experiencing problems or suffering in your life, how can you turn that into purpose? It's like, there's so much beauty in the suffering if we can look at it and decide what gift we want to get out of it. So for example, the reason that my life feels purposeful now is because I took a bunch of problems that I had in my life and I started solving them for myself. And now I'm able to help other people solve them, and there's no more purpose in that. I'm sorry. You cannot have more purpose in your life other than helping other people, whether it's with a family, with a business, whatever it is. That's where purpose comes from. So find a problem, solve the problem, help other people with the problem. You'll have plenty of purpose. And this has nothing to do with your marital status, your relationship, whether you're a parent, it doesn't matter, right? This guy reads Eckhart Tolle book. I only did read one. I didn't read The Power of Now. I read New Earth in 2021. It was one of the books that actually helped me become a life coach for sure. But how do I become a life coach? Great. So if you actually want to become a life coach, my community is an amazing place for you to learn and see that, because I'm going to teach you tools that you'll learn as a life coach. I'll also show you how to build a business. So I became a life coach after getting a 4-year in psych, working in a psych hospital, deciding that wasn't right, and then being brave enough to go and get certified as a life coach. And I have 3 certifications now. I've been doing this for about 3 years altogether, coaching. I've owned my business for about 2. It's been a journey. And before I started any of the psych stuff, I worked 26 different jobs trying to find purpose. I moved to Spain for a year trying to find myself. It's been a journey. But the way I became a life coach wasn't really linear, right? It was like going through all the things I needed to learn about myself and being in the right places at the right time to make those decisions. Does that make sense? But if you want to become a life coach, you can just go get a certification, or you can just call yourself a life coach and help people. It doesn't matter. It's a pretty open field right now, and I think that's a benefit. Spiritual aspirant. Did I say that word wrong? What you said about the self-called bad mom wife was beautiful. It resonated with you. Yeah, 100%. And if that resonates with you, spiritual aspirant, I can't say your name, join my community, because you're the perfect candidate to get into my world, learn my tools, and start transformation for pretty much free, or like $7, right? And then if you want one-on-one coaching to take it further, I will offer that for a lot more affordable price than most life coaches, because I'm trying to make life coaching affordable for everyone, okay? So I just think if that resonated with you, then everything I say in my community is going to resonate with you, and it'll help your life get so much better, all right? Beverly, how do I get out of a depressive rut? The first thing I would say is take all the facts of your life and separate it from all the stories you're believing. That's the first thing, okay? So whatever thoughts you're believing right now, like I'm not good enough, I'm bad, my life's never gonna get better, I'm not lovable, all the horrible thoughts you're believing are optional, and it's really good to separate out the actual factual reasons why you're choosing to believe those thoughts. It doesn't feel like a choice. I know I'm not trying to make you feel like invalidated, but like this is what I did. In 2019, 2020, I was depressed, and I started literally writing down all my thoughts. I'm like, before I believe all these thoughts, let me at least write them down. Give yourself permission to question your own thinking. That's the first step. If you want help with that, join my community. And I don't have a community yet, so DM me, and then I'll invite you to my community in about a week when it's open. I've been vaping for 9 years, and I literally can't quit. I need help. Okay, Hannah, I'm just gonna say this with so much love for you. Go to my link in my link tree. It's called Escape the Vape. It's a course. It is $97. It's a 6-hour course. In addition, I'll give you a 30-minute call with me in a month after you've applied everything, in case you're still having issues. Girl, is my main niche for 2 years. I'm very confident I can help you. Even if you don't buy the course, at least check out the sales page. There's so much information. There's a 6-minute video on top of everything that will really help you understand, okay? Go check it out. If you want to stop smoking, if you want to stop using any kind of SUBS, anything like this, any kind of chemical that's not healthy for you, DM me, and I would love to have you in my community, because we're going to talk about that kind of stuff. You have to understand that every problem that you have with actions, whatever you're doing or not doing, is emotional at its core. So in order to solve for emotional problems, we have to understand how to manage the thoughts that are creating our emotions, okay? So if you guys want to help quit vaping, go to my link in my link tree. Please, Escape the Vape. Go and read through everything I have on there. The reason I don't like talking about it on TikTok is because when I start talking about VAPING in excess, they block me, they moderate me, and then I can't have a community. So unfortunately, there's a lot of censorship right now on this app, and you just have to work your way around it as a creator. So if you're interested, I don't censor myself on my sales page for my program, and you can at least go and see how it'll help you, okay? All right, I'm on Jimmy Jam Jam. Jimmy Jam Jam. Is that from Jimmy Neutron? Jimmy Jam Jam. Seek Trump. He will solve your issues. Okay. How can I stop eating junk food? I want to lose face fat in my skin. Okay. The reason you can't stop eating, there's two parts. Okay. Number one, the food that you're eating is addictive, right? It's been designed on every single aspect and every sense that somebody has spent their entire career in marketing trying to make that food as addictive as possible. So understand that you don't have a problem. The food just it's been engineered for your brain to want it more. So what I'm saying, the reason I'm telling you that is don't make yourself wrong for wanting it. Okay. You're not wrong. In fact, your brain is working beautifully, perfectly how it's supposed to. So that is just, I say this to remove any shame you have over the eating, okay? Shame, I have a quote I just wrote down. Shame is always optional, it never helps. So we need to remove the shame first to do this work, okay? Now the second thing I want to offer to you is if you're eating food when you're actually physically not hungry, it's because of the emotions in your body that you're experiencing. Now the problem for most people is that we have no idea what emotions we're experiencing, okay? So that's the first step. Remove the shame and then ask myself, before I eat the junk food, what's going on for me? You know, is there anxiety in my body? Is my chest buzzing? Are my hands heavy? Is there shame? Do I feel heavy and gross about myself? Good thing. That's a good first step, okay? And I will create a course on that in my community on overeating at a certain point. It's going to be really good. It's going to be very potent. It'll be direct. It'll be good. What I'm doing with my community is I'm trying to bring life coaching tools to everyone accessibly. So what I'm doing is creating courses. I have a foundational course I'm building right now. That's the basics. And then every month I'm going to be adding on. So even if there isn't a course on your specific problem, the foundational training I'm giving you will help you with your specific problem because every course I have will build off that training. So every problem at its core, it doesn't matter what the problem is a thought issue to begin with. This is called root coaching, cause of coaching, because we get to the root of the cause, okay? So if you're interested, join my community, or at least I don't have the community open yet, but you can DM me right now and say, hey, Andrew, your community sounds great, and I can afford $7 a month, or I'd like it for free, and let me know because I'm going to use, whatever. Just consider joining. I would love to have you, and seriously, I'm going to try my best to give you ridiculous value for what I'm charging. I want to help you. I want you to have access. I don't want you to have to pay thousands of dollars to get what I do, okay? All right, let's go back. So I'm on some comments back, and then I'm gonna go some quick ones so I can get to the top again, okay? All right, so Mealy, how can I solve the non-stop ritual of feeling good for a month and then feeling bad again? Learn how to manage your thoughts. You have a pattern, right? Right now you have a pattern in your life. Everyone has patterns, okay? So one of the best ways to overcome your patterns is by learning what you're thinking over and over again. So one of the ways I help my clients with this, and I do it as affordable as possible, is I have them journal every day, and in the journal we both look at it together and we catch patterns. So this is normal. Everybody has thought patterns that come up in waves, and the way that we change our results is by we understand those patterns and change them on purpose. What you're experiencing is completely normal. And I've been experiencing my whole life. And I've only recently started to overcome some of these thought patterns and these ups and downs because I've started to bring awareness to my habitual thoughts. Okay, that's what coaching is all about. So DM me for my community. I'd love to have you. Filed for divorce 38 years. Now I miss him and I don't want a divorce, so depressed. Okay, here's what I want to offer you. Write down the reasons why you filed and then write down the reasons why you miss him and make sure those things match up. Because a lot of the times what happens is we actually weren't happy in the relationship, right? And then we're trying to convince ourselves that we should have been, because we're alone now, right? Or because we're not dating someone now. I shouldn't say alone, we're dating. So just like, if you want help with that, I can help you. Also, by the way, just get on a call. I think that'd be a fun one to do on a call. Blueberry madness. Okay, we're going faster. I'm getting there, by the way, I'm almost there. How do I feel burdened whenever I feel emotional? I'm left, locked away, or totally. Okay, how do I feel burdened whenever I feel emotional? I'm left, locked away. Well, you don't need anybody else to be you don't need anybody else to feel your emotions. I think that so much of the time it's like other people don't understand your emotions because other people aren't thinking the thoughts that you're thinking that are creating them. Let me say that again. Your thoughts create your emotions, and your emotions are valid, but you don't need anyone else to be valid in that, right? One of the best skill sets you can learn for yourself as an adult, an emotionally responsible adult, I would say, is letting yourself make space for your own emotions. Because that's called validating yourself. Like, validating yourself is literally just letting yourself be valid in whatever experience you're experiencing. You don't need anybody else external to do that. And if you can learn how to validate yourself, you're a very powerful person. Because you no longer rely on other people to feel good. And that's what puts you in a position to build the most deep and intimate relationships with yourself and others. Okay? You can't even coach yourself if your family doesn't stop. Shame is the mirror of your existence. What's this about? I'm confused. Any advice for quitting vapes? Yes. Go to my bio, and there's literally a link that says escape the vape, and that's exactly my advice. Go read through that page. It'll help you tremendously, okay? Thoughts on work-life balance. It's, hard to let off when you make $600K a year. No, it's not. But listen, I think a lot of people don't recognize that work can become a substance. Okay, and the reason why anybody has a problem with I can't say that word. That's a blocked word. So if I say it twice, you're gonna block me. Why anybody has a problem with SUBSATNC? I can't spell loud. With things like that is because it's emotion, right? So my question to you would be, if you weren't working, what emotions did you feel about yourself? If you didn't produce any money this year, how would you feel about yourself? And what you're going to find very quickly is that you actually have a relationship with yourself problem, and that you're using work to avoid not feeling good about yourself if you're not constantly producing. So although I believe in making $600,000 a year, and I do have that goal for my life and my business, like I want to make 600, who doesn't want to make 600 grand a year? Why not, right? If you could or you couldn't, why wouldn't you choose to? Which is fun. So although I do have that same goal for myself, I want to make sure I get there without needing to get there to love myself. And that's a very different goal setting. I need advice on my relationship. Okay. Yes. So what is the advice you need? Let me know. What's happening? Miguel, how do I stop overeating? Start feeling your emotions. Kayla, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that, girl. If you want in my community, I'd love to have you. DM me. Yeah, start feeling your emotions and become aware of your emotions. If you are currently having trouble with your emotions, I'm sorry, I just lost my track of thought. If you're currently having problems with overeating, it's because you're probably not aware of the sensations, the vibrations in your body that are emotional, I would imagine. Most people, right? Okay, so how do I stop vaping? Understand all three addictions, the mental, the chemical, the emotional. If you want help with that, go in my bio, Escape the Vape, go check it out, please. I'm telling you, I can help you with this. There's no doubt in my mind. Go check out the sales page for the course I have. Even if you don't buy the course, the sales page will be very enlightening for you, and it might help you quit just from reading through that. Yes, quitting vaping is only hard when I think that nicotine itself is the main problem. Does that make sense? Okay, so the actual problem with vaping is that we have thoughts and emotions that are controlling our desire to want to vape that we're not aware of. So we have to learn how to deal with our thoughts, manage our emotions. If you can do that, you can quit. It'll be way easier than it's ever been. Okay. Oh no, Mike. Oh geez, I almost said it too. Mike, job application time. Cool. How do I handle grief? My mom. So we're on Cali, baby, because all I do is cry. I think that if you might be mixing emotions. Grief is different from shame. Grief is different than regret. Grief is different than arguing with reality. So a lot of times people are thinking that their grief is actually, that their other emotions are actual grief. So like, what I'd recommend for you is like write down all the thoughts you're having that are making you feel bad and make sure that those are actually matching up with the emotion of grief. And if you need help with that, go to my community. I'll help you with that, okay? Can I ask why you didn't like psych hospital? That's what my goal is. Yeah, it was a horrible place because I don't think they actually treated. The whole purpose of a psych hospital is to stabilize with medication. So if you actually want to help people in a meaningful way, I don't believe that's the place to do it, honestly. And that's my personal experience, and I stand on that opinion, okay? In addition, I think that the actual the clinical world is very damaged. I don't think that the goal is actually to solve problems. I think it's to perpetuate illness, okay? And obviously there are therapists out there who are great, who are amazing, who are doing God's work, but I think that life coaching is ultimately, if I chose between the clinical world or life coaching aligned with what I wanted more. So the reason why the psych hospital wasn't what I wanted is because I wanted to help people solve problems for good and also create lives that were very meaningful. I don't think that the clinical world is the best place for that. That's just my personal opinion, and I stand by it for good reasons. You're welcome, Matthew. All right, pink tax. All right, what's so bad about vaping? It's just an addictive substance, so if you want to use it, you can. If you don't want to, it's awesome too. I'm non-polarized with that. Nicotine is not inherently bad. Going through breakup right now, and how do I do no contact, but we have kids, so we need to contact each other. Why do you want to do no contact, right? And can you do no contact with a kid involved, right? Probably not, because there's interpersonal relationships involved. So how can you set boundaries that are neutral without emotions getting involved from a loving place that honor you and also honor your kid? That's what I recommend you find out. You know, what would it look? Ask yourself the question: what would it look like for me to create the best situation for me and my child in relationship to talking to my ex? There's just some brainstorming to do there. Reba, yes, I've been depressed. Writing down feeling helps. Yes, of course it does, because writing down your feelings validates them, and it also gets the emotions and the feelings out of your mind and body and on paper, so you can actually help yourself validate your own experience. It's very important. Can you help my cousin with binge eating? If they want help. If they don't want help, then the only help we can offer them is unconditional love. And also, like, we don't know who you are, so what's it matter? Sarah, find God. I agree. I don't think you find God. I think you decide to accept God. God is not something you find. God is something that you just open up your mind to, right? If you have to find God, it means you think God's not right here with you all the time, which God always is. So God is not something you find. I just got here. I'm trying to stop vaping. Yes, Sarah, if you want to quit vaping, I have two options for you. I have a community I'm going to start. It's like right now I'm working on the foundational course. So you can either DM me and say, I'm interested in the community, or you can just go to my pre-made vape course. It's in my bio. My quit vaping course. It's really good. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to help you with your emotions, your thoughts, and that'll help you quit that substance. Thanks for the heart. Appreciate that. All right, so let's do this. So I had a baby in my... Did I skip a comment? Let me just make sure. I want to make sure. I did, I'm sorry. All right, user 298. So vaping is my vice. Any recommendations focusing on focusing that feeling elsewhere? What feeling? I think right now you probably aren't even aware of what feelings you're experiencing, what emotions, so it makes you unable to not use substances to deal with them. You have to bring awareness to your emotions before you can learn how to overcome them, right? And right now you're using vaping to avoid them. Truly, that's what the truth is. Thanks for the follow, FW Derek. Sorry, I might be autistic. I am probably autistic, but I also am probably dyslexic. All right, I had a baby in May, and I'm having such a hard time learning how to love myself again. Well, your baby didn't make you love yourself or not love yourself, right? So I'm curious what happened, right? What happened once you had a baby? What happened to your own beliefs about yourself? And if you want help with that, learning how to love yourself, I really recommend that you do join my community. DM me, let me know, hey, I'm interested, and I will give you like an instant invite right when I get there. And I'm trying to make my tools accessible to everyone because, like, everybody can just choose to love themselves, but it's a process to get there, okay? And your life is so much better when you love yourself, because when you love yourself, you show up for that way towards everyone else. So it makes your relationship as a mom, as a parent, as a son, daughter, so much better. Relationships. Yeah, the biggest thing I can say in terms of a blanket statement on relationships is don't export your emotional responsibility to your partner or whoever the other person in the relationship is. You're welcome, Millie. So a lot of people get into relationships to feel good about themselves, and that's a really bad reason to get in relationships. What you actually want to do is learn how to manage your own emotions and then get into a relationship just to complement your life, not to make you feel valid and worthy. Make sense? That's the problem. Tammy, if I was just going to blanket statement it. Tammy, my husband passed away 4 years ago, and I have panic attacks in the past. Yeah, you know, it sounds like I would recommend, so here's what I recommend. Sorry for your loss, but there's two things, right? If you're still having panic attacks and constant anxiety 4 years later, I would recommend you either go to therapy and work out your thoughts about it and experience the trauma that created, or you get coaching and learn how to manage your thoughts about it. Because your husband passing, it doesn't feel like it. I know it doesn't. It's going to sound harsh, but it's a neutral circumstance. Okay? People pass away every single day, and the only way that we get stuck in it is if we're believing things about it that keep us stuck in it. Like it shouldn't have happened, it was the worst thing ever. So what I'm saying is validate your experience. If you need to go grieve properly, go to therapy or get coaching to do that. But also, at the end of the day, if you're still that broken up about it, we have to talk about what you're thinking about that experience, because your thoughts are going to just perpetuate suffering indefinitely. Very important to understand that. Okay? Grief is normal. Perpetuating grief with thoughts isn't normal. Kirsty, finding direction. Yes, you already have direction. You just don't believe you do, right? Because the things that you really want, you're scared to admit you want. So that's the problem. I promise you that if you look, like, here's how you know, right? Do you want $1 million or $0? $1 million. Do you want to have a husband or a partner that loves you or be single? Most people would say a partner. Do you want to have a car that's reliable? Do you want to have a car that's a piece of shit? Do you want to have a dog or not have a dog, right? All those questions you can answer probably within 2 seconds. So you don't have a direction issue. You have I don't believe what I actually want is possible, so I'm deluding myself to believe I don't know what I want issue. Make sense? I'm going to make a course on that, by the way, how to know what you want and how to make decisions. So if you want to learn how to do that, join my community, get in there. It's going to be so good. How to know what you want. So the whole idea with my community is that I'm starting a very low-ticket community to give people access to life coaching tools like this. Okay, that you don't have to pay thousands of dollars. I want a lot of people. I want high value, low cost. That's my idea. And then if anybody wants to work on me one-on-one so we can actually talk about your specific life, I'm going to find as cheap as possible a way to do that, still maintaining high quality. So if what I'm saying sounds good to you and you want to be a part of that movement, and this will be a movement because I've never seen any other life coach attempt this, then jump in to my community. At least right now, all you have to do is DM me. Let me know, hey, that sounds good. I would love to be a part of it. DM me right now. Just say, hey, what you do sounds good. Just let me know when you have more information. And I would love to have you, okay? All right, guys. So I'm going to really try to not skip comments. So here I go. I'm going to do a fast response. So be on it, and we got this, okay? Okay. Okay, so Rodney, what do you have for finding direction? Again, I just talked about it. It's not a direction issue. It's not a direction issue. You have dreams you don't believe are possible, so you're deluding yourself. I promise you. The reason that it seems like you have no direction is because you don't know the exact things you want, but you have a pretty good idea. So go with the pretty idea. Okay, Sandy, how do I deal with both parents dying in 1 year? Let yourself grieve. The biggest advice I have for you is don't make it a problem that you're feeling shitty. Be there for yourself to not feel good. That's fresh grief. Let yourself be in it. And if you really need help, get therapy. Just go to therapy. It's not going to hurt you. How can I stop binging? Learn how to feel your emotions. Life coaching is a scam. That's a blanket statement. I don't believe in polarized blanket statements. So I would recommend getting more spiritual and then coming back with a less polarized view, because anytime we are polarized one way to the left or the right, it's a problem. Okay, because it's a very non-depth of answer. Okay. Just like if you said all people are bad in this category, it's not true, right? So just be careful about that. But you're valid to your own opinion. I just don't agree with it. Audrey, I had a baby in May, and I have such a hard time learning how to love myself. Yes, get in my community. DM me. Are you gay? Yes. You're gay. I don't need your advice. That's fine. I don't really give advice either. It's just like life coaching isn't necessarily advising. That's consulting. So just so you know, there's a difference. Pucky, I got a cold one day, and I quit vaping because it made me sickness worse. Awesome. Of course it did. It's poison. Literally, nicotine is literally classified as a poison. Nate, I'm not just making it up. It's literally. And I'm not saying that it's wrong or bad to do it. It's just we should be aware that it is classified as a poison, right? Good awareness. Nate, how do we pull motivation out of thin air? You don't. Motivation doesn't come out of thin air. It comes from your thoughts. So my real question for you, and this is a good question for anybody to ask, is how do I think about my goals in a way that motivates me? That's the question you want to ask yourself. Pocky, Alex, Wine, you have issues? A lot of people do, myself included. It's all good. Def, not Juliana. Or Julia, why can't I stick to quitting vaping? Because your thoughts aren't aligned. That's the problem, is that you're still identifying as a vapor. So I have a framework. It's called the 3 Addiction Framework. It deals with the mental, the emotional, and the chemical reasons for why you can't stop. Right now, your problem is mental. I'm just promising you that's your problem. Because right now, you're still identifying as somebody who vapes. So what happens is you get a couple days in, you're resisting all the thoughts that still make you a vapor, and then you just cave. Okay? You have to change here before you can change your results. Right? Thoughts create emotions, drive action. If you're still taking an action you want to be taking, it's because your thoughts haven't changed. I promise you, no question about it. Nate, yes, to answer that. Al-Habab, do you value finances or passion more for a career? I don't think that that's a valid question. I think that I value both. I think that I was trained from my parents. It was a limiting belief that I had to choose one or the other, and I actually don't believe that. I believe that you can have both. I actually believe that if you follow your passion, it's going to lead to the highest valuable career for you. So I believe that. But you have to also, if you want to make a lot of money, you have to actually intentionally decondition the bad money beliefs you have, because a lot of people actually make themselves poor on purpose because they think it's noble, which it's not at all. Being poor is not noble. It's something that I want, so don't make it a virtue. The second one is stopping overeating. How do I stop cheating on my girl? Do the inner work on yourself. I'm being serious, and I'm not saying that to beat you up, and I appreciate the gift. Do the inner work on yourself, okay? You need to recognize that cheating is always because we have a poor relationship with ourselves, and that's why we're lying to the people that we love, or why we're too cowardly to tell them we don't want to be in a relationship. I'm not saying to beat you up. I'm just saying that you need to work on yourself. People who are integrated don't cheat because they trust themselves, and they know that it's better to be honest with ourselves, even though honesty is uncomfortable, rather than to lie to the people that love us, okay? Miss Carol, I quit vaping cold turkey after watching a video of a girl on the internet for vaping. Awesome. That's totally possible. I'm not saying that my tools are the only way to get this. That's polarized. I don't believe in polarization. I believe spiritually that we should be non-polarized, and we should understand both arguments in every situation. So I do believe that you can just quit. I've seen people do it. That's not a problem. But if you're having trouble, I do believe I also have tools that can help you. So either way, it's all good. Okay? I'm not trying to be divisive here. John, what are your qualifications as a life coach? It's not, no big deal. So 3 years of coaching now. I got 3 certifications. I have a 4-year in psych, which didn't really help, the 4-year in psych. I have clinical experience. I've also worked 26 different jobs. I lived in Spain for a year, so I have some decent life experience, I think, that a lot of people don't have, that helps me kind of orient myself and make decisions. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Philosophy and training, yeah. I would say if you want to get into life coaching, one of the best books you can read is called Self-Coaching 101 by Brooke Castillo. Self-Coaching 101, Brooke Castillo. It's on Amazon, because she's going to teach you basically how your thoughts work. It's like a practical tool to help you understand your thoughts. That's what life coaches do. We help you understand how your thoughts create your results and change them so you can create new results. That's it. Damien, do you believe in God? I absolutely do. I actually believe in pantheism, which God is everywhere, all the time, all over. So my beliefs, although they do align with Christianity, they're not Christian, because I see a broader perspective than Christianity. I also believe in Taoist beliefs where God's everywhere, and I believe that Jesus can actually fit into a spiritual framework instead of just a Christian one. Okay? So that's my beliefs. Yes, how do you quit vaping? Go to my bio in my link and check it out. It's called Escape the Vape. Dating after divorce. Yes. Make sure that you don't have any belief systems about the divorce that make you unable to be dateable, right? A lot of people, why it's hard to date in general is because they have all these beliefs that actually stop them from being open and receptive to dating, right? So it's a good question, Emma, but what I'd recommend is, instead of looking at the past and your divorce, I would recommend figuring out exactly what kind of partner you want now, right? Because you've been married, you're a more experienced dater than a lot of people. So that puts you in an advantage, in my opinion. So figure out what it is that worked and didn't work, and make your list of what you want in a partner. And instead of focusing on what didn't work, focus on what you want. And that's going to help orient yourself so that when you are in a dating situation, you know exactly what you want. And then what I also want to offer to you is figure out what you want. And if any resistance comes up in your body while you're doing this exercise, like reasons why you think you can't have it or reasons why it won't work, that is your blocks you need to overcome, okay? Because if I want something, but at the same time I'm believing I shouldn't have it or I can't have it, I won't be able to create it in my life. It's kind of a law of attraction idea, but it's a very practical cognitive behavioral therapy idea as well, right? You cannot create results you want by simultaneously believing you can't create them. And if you want help with that, Emma, please, I'm going to put my link. DM me, say, Andrew, I want to join your community because I want to learn more about this, and I will teach you, and I will teach you how to go after a relationship, okay? One of the courses I will create, not this month, I'm going to do it in the future, but you can still get value without this course so far because I'll teach you the foundation. One of the courses I want to teach is on relationships, and I want to teach you how to go after a relationship. I want to teach you how to attract the partner you want, and that's it, okay? So that makes sense? All right, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna speed round again to get back to back, okay? John Sanchez, people on this feed, please ask for qualifications from the coaches because their philosophy. I agree. I think that you should like the coach you have. I think that should make sense. They should be qualified. I have no resistance to you saying that on my live. I think that if what I'm saying doesn't make sense and I seem unqualified, then you don't have to hire me. You don't have to join my community. It's just simple, basic to me, right? I understand that life coaching can border between clinical and non-clinical, and I've done my research and I've done my work and I've worked in both fields. So anyways, get your Bible and pray. Okay, I'm overeating because I love myself. That's fine. That's not a problem then. Just make sure that that's true, right? If you are sitting here feeling the emotion of love and you're eating, then that's true. But most people, when they're overeating, they're not feeling the emotion of love, and that's why they're stuffing food in their face. Okay, but that can be true for you. I don't think that, again, I'm not polarized. Vaping, yes, go to my course. It's in my bio. Escape the vape. Belief to help people never comes from a place of growth and understanding. Belief to help people never comes from a place of growth and understanding and peace. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. I'm overreading because, again, polarized view. Whenever somebody says never or always, question them because they probably don't know as much as they think they do. I'm overreading because I want to lift 500 pounds. And I say always sometimes too, but okay. I don't overeat, but I've been severely undereating and I don't know how to eat. I'm not good at undereating stuff. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm just not my wheelhouse, so I don't talk about it. If you want help, I recommend the clinical world for that. Imposter syndrome, yes. Imposter syndrome is completely normal. It's just your brain saying, hey, we haven't done this before, so we're going to be nervous, right? Imposter syndrome is only a problem when you think negative emotions are a problem, all right? I have imposter syndrome pretty much every single day because every single day in my business, I'm doing new things. So I'm like, can I really do this? Is this really going to happen? I don't believe in myself. Like, you having imposter syndrome is actually a really good sign that you're on the right path because it's forcing you out of your comfort zone. So completely normal, completely okay. Let yourself have it. Don't pathologize yourself for having it. Incognito, welcome. Still waiting for your lives on YouTube. They're on there, Incognito. They're already on there. I've posted the last 3 days. Go to my YouTube in the bio and click on it, and then click on my most recent videos. I promise you they're on there. I just watched them the other day. So DM me and let me know why you can't find them or what you're trying, because I'll try to make it more findable if I can. But they're definitely on public view. How do we get a job? I've applied for yes. The reason why you're applying for so many jobs and not getting offers is because right now you're not believing you're going to get the job. Okay, so here's what I want to offer to you. If you applied for your next job and your dominant belief in your head is, I'm the perfect person for this job, what would have to change about your resume, right? Because right now you're applying from an energy of it's not going to work. So just because you apply for 1,000 jobs doesn't mean you're going to get any of them if your belief systems are bad around the jobs, right? You have to become, this is a Tony Robbins idea, by the way. This is not like new. If you want to succeed, you have to become the person who succeeds in your mind before you even take action. So if I want to get the job, what would I have to be thinking about that job? Well, that I'm qualified for it and I'm the right person. Are you applying from that energy? I know you're not, because the proof is in your result. So that's exactly right. If you want help learning how to manage your thoughts around your life, get in my community, DM me, and I would love to have you. Seriously, I would love to have you. And I'm going to try to offer so much more value than you ever pay me. Tiffany, because I want to make life coaching accessible to everyone, okay? Because I've paid tens of thousands of dollars over the last couple of years for coaching, and I don't think that that's necessary. Tiffany, I've been talking to a guy for 4 months. He's consistent with calling, but no date. Well, you have to draw a boundary, right? And by drawing a boundary, sometimes it's like deciding what you want and just telling the other person. Don't let him decide. I don't believe in the whole idea of girls having to, because like, listen, I mean, the way that our society is going right now is like, we don't like gender roles, even though I think that they're important because gender roles are actually biological. If you think about it, like women are more nurturing because they have kids. And men are not. They're more disagreeable because we technically protect the family. So by our very biology, we're in gender roles sometimes. But what I recommend is, I don't actually believe gender roles around dating. I just think you should ask for what you want. And I'm not saying this is a man or woman or whatever. I'm saying this is as a person who values creating my reality the way I want. I just think that you should be able to say, hey, I want this, and I'm brave enough to say it, regardless of the man or the woman being the one having to initiate. I just think that that's the most integrated version of all of us. And I don't think that you asking somebody out, even if you're a woman, is a gender role issue. I just think it's a confidence issue. Make sense? And you can disagree with me on that. It's all good. You can disagree with me on any of this stuff, but that's just my opinion. And I found that that's the most effective with my clients as well. It's like, How do you hire me? Really, I'd love for you to. Go to my DMs, DM me, say, hey, I'm interested in your community. I want to get you into my foundational trainings first for really, really low cost or free. I'm not sure yet. I have a call at 1 o'clock to talk about that. And then be in my community, take my first 2 foundational courses. And then if you want one-on-one coaching after you learn the basics, which I'd love to have you, we'll talk about the most affordable plan I can put together to give you the biggest transformation. Okay? Austin, I have a crush on a guy, but at least follow me first. I have a crush on a guy. I'm kind of nervous and not sure how to approach him, which I do. Let yourself be nervous and approach him anyways. If you were the version of you that, so Austin, it's like, if you were the version of you that was okay with being nervous, how would you approach that situation, right? For me, it's like, okay, of course I'm nervous because I'm going to ask somebody out. Like, of course, that's a completely normal experience to have, is to be nervous. So how can I be nervous and do it anyways? Well, I'd probably just walk up to him and because I'm autistic probably, so I'm very literal. Whenever I'm nervous, I just am very fucking literal. I'm like overly honest. So I would probably just walk up, and I've done this before, by the way, and I've literally said, hey, I just want you to know I'm super nervous to do this because it's uncomfortable, but I think you're really cute. And I don't even know if you're gay or not because it's hard for me to tell because I'm autistic and I miss cues sometimes. But would you like to go on a date with me? I've literally done that, by the way. I've done it at the gym too. I don't think that the gym is a weird place to ask people out if you do it respectfully and honestly. But yeah, don't be creepy about it, right? And you be respectful. If they say no, then you honor the no, right? But I've always considered getting hit on as a compliment. I think whether you're a man or a woman, it can be done in a respectful way and it can be a compliment. But it just depends on the person and their intention, right? My intention is always, I look like a lesbian homie. That's great. That's so funny. I can see that. I see truth in that. You guys are funny as fuck. Listen, if you work with me, by the way, I'm funny as fuck. You're gonna get a funny ass. Like, I just want to say that. You don't even have to work with me. Just join my community. We'll have fun. So, like, because I'm more serious than like when I'm doing this shit, but it's gotta be fun. It gotta be fun, or it ain't gonna work. All right. H. Jones, how do you change your thought process with vaping? I'm struggling. I really recommend getting my course because I'm going to teach you foundational tools that'll help you understand how to change your beliefs, right? I'm also going to teach you about dopamine, nicotine, how it works in your brain so you can understand the chemical side of addiction. I'm also going to teach you about your emotions, how to process them so you don't need to turn to nicotine to deal with them. So that's I call it the 3 punch, right? Chemical, mental, emotional, that's why it's going to work for you because it deals with the complete picture of addiction, okay? So it's a really, really good course. I'm not just saying that. And also, as a bonus for the course, because I really do care about you, I give you a free 30-minute call with me 30 days in, so that if you're struggling after taking the course and applying it, I can help troubleshoot and help you solve. Because I do want everyone to go through my program to get the result that I'm offering. It's important to me. I can't guarantee it for everyone because I can't ultimately make you quit vaping at the end of the day, but I can give you everything that I can to try to help you. So just check it out. I don't just say that. Did I used to vape? Yes, for 7 years. And before that, I smoked cigarettes. Okay. I was like the OG vapor. I had the box mods and everything, and I transitioned slowly to the disposables. That's the only transition I've ever made. Hannah, I love, hi bitch, hi bitch. I just want to be a gay, sassy life coach that's actually really good at what I do. You know what I mean? I grew up watching Hannah Montana, so I want the best of both worlds, you guys. I want to be able to be funny, like you're like, this guy's a fucking vibe, but then also be like, no, but actually here's your problem, let's solve it, right? So I'm learning how to get my voice online, but this is what I want. The gay, fun, sassy life coach that's actually really good at what he does and offers accessible tools to everyone. That's my branding. So what do you guys think about that? All right. Also here, DM me if you want to join my community and be part of this. All right. I'm having fun today. Let me see what time. All right. Also here, DM me if you want to join my community and be part of this. All right. I'm having fun today. Let me see what time it is because I'm an hour and a half today. So it's been 56. We got another half an hour. Okay. We're going to do this. All right. So one sec. I'm getting back to the comments. I don't want to lose anybody. Okay. I'm trying to answer everybody. Hannah, I have a hard time relaxing. How do I go about slowing down? I recommend that you be okay with the emotions. I think that most people who can't relax is because they don't want to be with their uncomfortable emotions. So what I recommend is one of the best things I've ever implemented in my life is like meditation. Let myself intentionally clear my schedule for 15 minutes and do nothing but let whatever happens to come up. Meditation I use as time to let my emotions pass. So if you're having a hard time relaxing, intentionally let yourself be uncomfortable. That's the skill set you need to learn, is intentionally letting yourself not be uncomfortable. And ironically, the paradox of that is that you'll be able to relax more. Okay? Very often, the truth of our emotions in our lives and our mental health is a paradox, right? The universe and God works in divine paradoxes. So when I stop trying to relax and I let myself not be relaxed, I end up being able to relax. When I stop beating myself up for overeating, I have control over overeating, right? When I stop making myself wrong or bad for who I am as a person, I'm able to accept myself. That's when I can able to set the foundation for change. That's how paradoxes work. And I find the more I learn about work and spirituality and psychology and how this works, the more that I see paradoxes come up. It's kind of how the universe speaks to you. It's how God speaks to you. It's in paradoxes, actually. All right. If anybody here needs help quitting vaping, please go to my Escape the Vape link in my bio. Please do it. It's going to help you so much, okay? Quitting bad, harmful habits because of self-hatred in yourself as a young gay man. Valentin, get in my please listen to me. Get into my coaching. get into my community. Please DM me, and because you are the person I want to help. I really want to help you. I want to teach you how to manage your thoughts and your emotions so you can actually step into a life that feels good to you and love yourself through the whole process. That is my mission for you. That is what I want for you. DM me, say, Andrew, it actually sounds kind of cool, this community you're putting together. I want more information. And when I have the course out and everything, I will give you the information. I will invite you personally. I will extend a welcoming hand because you deserve to feel worthy and loving towards yourself as a gay man or a straight man, okay? And I'm gay, so obviously your story has a connection to my heart. Chrissy, need advice? What do you do with my marriage? Because he has been so unloyal. Okay, what I recommend is you set boundaries for yourself, right? So ask yourself, if my relationship was going how I wanted it to, what would I no longer put up with? Cheating, right? So what I recommend for you is set your boundaries of where you're willing to put up with things. For me, I have a boundary in my relationship. If somebody cheats on me, I don't want to forgive them. The reason is because I'm at a point in my life where I sincerely believe I'm never going to cheat because I manage my thoughts and my emotions, and because I'm a emotionally developed enough human being to where I'm not going to cheat on someone. I've literally thought this out in my head. If I'm in a relationship and I'm about to cheat, I will call my partner and tell them, hey, I'm about to cheat. It's over. I love you very much, but I can't do it anymore. Because that's just a value to me, is integrity. So because my value is integrity, I make sure that if I'm not in an integral relationship, I just choose not to be. Your relationship should make your life better. It should make it worse. Your relationship should make you feel better about yourself, not worse, okay? So decide your boundaries and honor them. That's what I recommend. Tips on quitting vaping. Yes. Anybody vaping, please. Yes, I've vaped for 7 years. Anybody who wants help quitting, and sometimes I still vape. Sometimes I'll still rip a vape at a party. It's not a big deal. I'm no longer fearful over the substance because I've learned how to manage my thoughts and my emotions around it. That's what I want for you. Go check out my link in my link tree. Kelsey, it's easy to stop cold turkey. Yes, and I think that's possible, but for a lot of people that isn't. It wasn't possible for me to stop cold turkey. I had to learn how to manage my thoughts and my emotions first so that when I stopped, I wasn't left with horrible emotions and bad thoughts, right? My biggest problem is I can't control my urges. You can, you're choosing not to. Why? Right? It's not that you can't control your urges, is that you're having uncomfortable emotions you don't know how to deal with. So those are manifesting. Your desire to get out of uncomfortable emotions that you've never learned how to process is manifesting as uncontrollable urges. Make sense? You have an emotional problem and your thoughts create your emotions. So what I'm going to help you do in my community is teach you how to manage your thoughts and your emotions, which will therefore lead to you managing your urges. Urges are not the problem, they're the symptom of your emotional issue. Why did you delete my comment? I don't know. Kelsey, I don't know. Whenever I say swear words or anything inflammatory, it literally blocks me on TikTok. Unfortunately, it's a censorship-heavy app now, so I just try to talk in a way that allows me to be myself by still allowing me to have a platform, which is true. Yeah, I know, it is weak, I agree. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, 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 bitch. I call most women bitches. I say it's a compliment. If a gay man calls you a bitch, it's a compliment. If a gay man doesn't call you a bitch, it's because they don't like you. Okay? I can't do anything with it. Eat after gym. Without it, vaping, it's not making you happy, it's avoiding. So this is the one thought shift I want you to have today, Bert, around vaping, is that vaping is not making you happy, it's helping you not feel unhappy. That's exactly right? It's a very important mindset shift, because when you give credit to vaping for feeling happy, you're always gonna wanna do it. But when you can see the truth of it is that vaping is just helping me not feel the uncomfortable emotions, you can actually go and want to solve that problem, okay? We love this. Thanks, Tira, I appreciate that, girl. Should I just go do snow instead of vape? Oh my gosh, I never understood snow. Listen, I'm gonna be totally fucking real with you guys. I've tried it twice, never been into it. You know why? It sobered me up both times. I don't understand why you'd want to do something that sobers you up when you're trying not to be sober. It doesn't make sense to me. So if I'm gonna be completely real with you, don't get it. I've never gotten it. If you want to do something that really hypes you up, Adderall, Molly. I'm not even saying, I'm not recommending those things. I'm just saying that's always been my drugs of choice whenever I chose to do it. Trying to get away from that section of my life now, but just want to let you know, I never got it with the snow. I never got it. Okay, Sierra, I work in a rehab and getting people to quit vaping is the hardest thing. Well, it's because they don't want to change their beliefs about it. You know why, though? There's a couple reasons, right? Vaping has been normalized, right? It's been told that it's safer, so people just assume when they hear the word safer, it's safe. So it also, people who are in rehab who have issues with drugs already, it helps them to avoid their emotions using a different substance that doesn't have the stigma, right? So imagine, right? If you have somebody who's overeating all the time and they're like 100 pounds overweight and they want to lose weight, and you tell them, hey, I just came out with this new version of pizza and it's healthy, they're going to have a problem with that substance because they've been told it's healthy, right? So there's just a lot of reasons why vaping is an issue in society. And again, I'm not even polarized. I don't think it's good nor bad. It's okay to vape. But if it's creating results you don't want or you feel like you're out of control, then it's a problem, right? By your own definition. So I can help you. You need a life coach who's straight with you. Yeah, real with you, right? Not straight. I'm confused, but I get you. I get what you're saying. 100%. If I can't be real with you, then I'm not a life coach. Then I'm just like a fake friend online who's trying to like, I don't know, like that's not developed. Willie Ward, my job is actually make you uncomfortable by having you think about new. My job is to intentionally challenge the things that you're thinking that aren't serving you, so that you can create new results. That's going to make you uncomfortable. That's not going to make you feel good. Okay, I've been sober for 8 months. I lost everything again, but life standards. Listen, Willie, if I chose to believe I lost everything, I'd also want to get high all the time. Okay, so I don't think that's a fact. I think that's a thought. So what I want to recommend to you is like when you say the thought, I lost everything, I want you to interrogate that thought like you're a cop. Okay? Because that thought is creating so much pain for you, and I don't see it as factual whatsoever. First of all, what does it mean to have lost? Let's question that. What do you mean lost? Did you give it all away? Did your house burn down? Did you like what's that mean? Okay? Did you self-sabotage and you actually are the one that made yourself lose? There's so many variations on that word that I don't want to believe it right off the start. Okay? Also, again, so you're believing you're the kind of person who loses everything, right? And then lost and everything. That's the next word I want. What's everything mean to you? Right? I lost everything. No, you didn't. You're talking to me. You have a phone in your hand. You have a body. You have breath. You have a brain. You have eyes. You have a mouth. You have your youth, it looks like. So in my opinion, for my brain, you haven't lost anything, right? And what does it mean by I? That's just a fun, oh, sorry, I do a puzzle piece to make sure I'm still, okay? So whenever you have a thought that's making you suffer and that thought is making you want to avoid your life with drugs, question the fucking thought. It is the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself. And after you question that thought with objectivity and you mean it and you actually question it, if you still feel shitty, fine, go do what you want. But don't allow yourself to believe thoughts that are making your life bad. That's the main thesis I have for everyone. That's the main tool we need to learn as adults that want to create the results we want in life. If we can't question our own thinking, we're doomed to create the same patterns over and over again. So get in my community, Willie. I know that you at least have a phone, so you can at least DM me and say, hey, you know what? I want to feel better about my life, so I'm going to try to get in a community that's going to help me do that. It's going to help me do that for as cheap as I can make it and probably free in a lot of ways, okay? 2 days. So here, for you, Willie, click that damn DM button and say, Andrew, you might be able to help me, and I'm willing to take the chance on it. All right? Grown men sipping on batteries. I get it, but I did it, Peter, for 7 years, bro. So I get it. But it's not going to, shaming people doesn't work. If shame worked to help people quit vices, then they would have already quit because they're shaming themselves, okay? What did I say earlier? My quote of the day? Let's check. Shame is always optional, it never helps. Say it with me. Shame, always optional, never helps, okay? All right, Sierra, it's worth it to stay sober. But he has to believe that for himself. Right now, what he might want to do is just avoid everything. And for him, it isn't worth it to stay sober. He'd rather be, avoidant, which isn't a problem in itself. But you have to decide for yourself why it's important to stay sober. People can tell you all the time, right? And I've tried. Your life's better without addiction. I believe that. But until people actually decide that for themselves and why, and they have emotions tied to it, they're not gonna believe it. It's not gonna work. Sour Skittles, love Sour Skittles. Okay, so when I smoke, Nick, I can't stop. And not like I want it for months. Why is that? Because you don't have belief systems that you need it. It really is that simple. Your thoughts create your results. So people who have problems quitting nicotine is because they believe they have problems quitting nicotine. That's it. Everybody knows someone who's tried every substance under the sun and they don't have a problem with it. Why? Because they don't identify with the substance. They don't think, oh, I need it. I can't cope without it. It's my wubby. It's my blanket. It's my anxiety reliever. I need it. I've never experienced life without it. Like, that's it. I'm telling you guys, first of all, join my community because I want you to be able to develop this work with me and it's going to be really good. But the main thesis I'm always going to go back to, and I've seen this over and over again, I'm yet to find this proof. Your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts are optional. So if I'm choosing to believe things about nicotine that make me addicted, that's the reasons, because I'm choosing to believe things that are becoming true because I'm choosing them. How to get myself to be more social approach women and develop relationships. Yeah, so again, write down all the reasons you think you can't do that and then question those thoughts. That's the most simple way I can say it, okay? HXNE, I don't know how to say your word. HXNE? I have a job interview in an hour. I've never had an interview before. I'm panicking. Well, the fact of you never having an interview isn't why you're panicking. It's why you're making that mean, right? So what I'd recommend for you is like, let yourself be nervous. It's like, it's okay, I'm nervous. I've never done this before, so it's a completely normal emotion. And then also choose a thought that you can anchor to, right? It's gonna be okay. If I'm supposed to have, this is what I always say to you, whether I'm on the phone with a client or the thought I always have, thanks for the follow and the share. If it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. I always believe that. And then it takes all the weight away from it, right? It takes all the stories away from it. If I'm meant to get this job, if I'm meant to get this client, if this is meant to work out, it will work out. How do I know? Because it works out. And if I'm not meant to, I won't. And that's okay. And instead of beating myself up of why I didn't get the job, I can just ask myself, what do I think logically was the reason I didn't get the job? Did I go in an interview not feeling like I could have it? Was there a better person for it? Did I not want it, right? Just neutralize it a little bit for yourself, That's the skill set we need to learn. It really is to create a life that we want. If you want to quit vaping, Tenley, go to my course in my bio. At least, even if you don't buy the course, just look at the sales page. There's a lot of information on there that will help you dramatically, totally for free. Need motivation for school. Figure out a reason why you're going to school and like the reason. You'll be motivated just fine. Vaping is the dumbest thing on planet Earth. It looks so stupid. It isn't. You know, it's like everyone has their vice, right? So I'm sure that you do things too that are also to other people look stupid. Like some people think overeating is stupid. Some people think eating ice cream is stupid. Some people think dancing is stupid. Some people think riding a bike is stupid. Like, it just, I don't like I don't like polarizing statements like that because it doesn't have to be true, right? And that's all. You're welcome, Sierra. Advice I'm going to use this analogy when discussing clients. Awesome. Sierra, do you have, what? Oh yeah, because you work with people. Sierra, I think you should get in my community because I'll teach you how to also do this work with your clients. I think it'll be very helpful, not only for you, but also to be bringing this back to other people. When I was in the psych hospital working there, I brought these life coaching tools to the psych hospital for patients, and I saw a dramatic shift. And that is the moment I decided to be a life coach instead of a therapist, because I realized I could help people in a really meaningful way without needing to do therapy. How much does that cost? Right now, I'm creating a community, and it's either going to be free or $7 a month. I'm not sure which yet. I'm trying to figure out. I'm talking to an expert on community building today, and he's going to kind of guide me towards that decision. But either way, everybody can afford $7 a month. Everyone can. How do I know you're holding a phone right now? Right? So I just want to make sure that the $7 makes sense. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. But free to $7. And then if anybody wants to work with me after that, we'll talk about it. But I'm trying to keep it as cheap as possible. I don't want someone to have to spend thousands of dollars to get value from me. Okay? And I also want to give you access to actual coaching, not just because in the community, you're going to get kind of access to group coaching and also to courses, but I want you to actually get access to one-on-one. I'm really trying to figure out how to do that in a way that makes sense for the coach and the client, that everybody can win. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know, DM me. We'll go back and forth. I'd love to talk to you about it, seriously. It's important to me because a lot of people over the last couple of years have not been able to get the help that I provide because of the way that I was structuring my payment. And I don't like that. Like I didn't sign up for this career to just make money. Obviously I want to make money, but I also want to help as many people as I can, and I think there's ways to do both. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to be very authentic about that. All right, guys, I'm going to get off because my butt is literally sleeping, but I'll do a couple more. I'll answer everyone's questions as it's here, okay? One sec. I'll speed round it, okay? Yes, love self. Change your thoughts about yourself. That's it. It's a process. I quit smoking after 6 years and 29. Awesome. That's nice. How do you stop overeating? Find motivation to get better? Feel your emotions. Start naming and processing them without food. That's exactly right. And if you want to feel better, then learn how to manage your thoughts around your emotions. Can you say anything about oversharing? I don't believe in it. I'm really truly believe I'm probably on the spectrum. So sometimes I'm just like thought to mouth. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think there's anything as oversharing because it's a subjective term, right? So like I'll tell people anything. Like I don't give a shit. I was diagnosed with genital herpes 5 years ago, so I deal with that. That's all right. No big deal, right? What's it matter? I'm gay. I've only had sex with like 10 people. What else can I tell you? I made 40 grand in my business last year. Right now I'm living at home with my parents again, right? Trying to learn how to build my business. Like I don't believe that there's anything as oversharing. I think that you should like the reasons you're sharing, and that's the only thing you should worry about. And for me, the reasons I share shit like that is like, I want to be real and vulnerable with you. And if you don't want to hire me because I have genital herpes, like you don't have to, right? Who gives a fuck? So it's all good. But you know what I mean though? I want to teach people that it's okay to be yourself. That's the basics. The thesis under all life coaching is that. And before we can become ourselves, we have to understand what we think and believe ourselves so we can decide on purpose. Okay. So Chess, advice on toxic mother-in-law. Yeah, she got pregnant after me and has no relationship with our son. Well, toxic is a subjective term. So my autistic definition of toxic is it creates toxicity in your own body. And the only thing that can create literal toxicity in your body is chemicals or emotions. So if your mother-in-law is toxic to you, it's because of what you're thinking about her. So you're around her thinking all these nasty thoughts is making you feel bad, and you're literally creating toxic emotions in your body. Okay? So what I want to recommend to you is decide where you want her to fit into your life in a perfect world. Do you want her in your life or not? And then draw boundaries. And if you decide where she fits into your life and you honor your boundaries, she can't make you feel toxic emotions because she doesn't have control over that. You do. Make sense? And if you want help learning how to stop people pleasing, draw boundaries, all that stuff, let me put this on the link one more time. DM me, say, Andrew, I'm interested in your community where I'll learn those skills so I can actually create the relationships I want in my life. And I would love to have you in my community where it's going to be either free or $7. I'll figure it out. And I'd love to have you. And if you spend a year in that community, you're going to have so many problems resolved in a year. It's going to be ridiculous. Okay. How do I stop overeating and smoking? I feel relaxed when I do it. I can't feel it when I'm full. Learn how to feel your emotions. I think that right now you have an emotional problem. That's why you're smoking and overeating, because you don't want to feel the emotions. And that's why also simultaneously you can't feel relaxed, because when you're trying to be relaxed, you're dealing with the emotions you're using substances to avoid. So Learn how to normalize your emotions. This is my response to you. And I can help you do that if you join my community. Tips to stop isolation and social anxiety. Yes, and also, you guys, I want to try to give you as much high-touch access directly to me as I can. I'm really trying to figure out how to do that. So like, I want you to actually build a relationship with me, and if I ever hire other coaches with them, and I want you to feel very fucking loved and supported. I want you to leave my community going, holy shit, like, how is he doing that for this price? That's my idea for you. So if you're actually serious about changing your life and you have questions in here and you've thought about it, like, there's no reason not to DM me and say you're interested. Tips to stop social isolation. Yes. And so I would try not to stop feeling anxious. I think that your first step is normalizing anxiety before you try to change it, because that's the biggest problem you'll probably find, is that your normal anxiety isn't a problem. Kayla, I've tried to quit vaping at least 10 times. Girl, go to my bio and my link. I have a Escape the Vape program that will help you understand it, okay? Go check it out. I always have to escape school. I leave early and I'm truant. Is there anything I can do? I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that school is right for everyone, right? Make sure you like the reasons why you don't like school, and then take action accordingly and know the consequences, right? If I'm not going to get my GED because I don't want to be at school, just make sure you like that you're going to live a life without a GED. In this society, it's more difficult. It's just objectively more difficult because people want you to have a GED. That's how society works. So if you're okay with that and you want to own the consequences, that's great. But if you don't want to own up to the consequences of not having a GED, then you need to find a way to make that more important than you wanting to leave school an hour early. Sorry, it's just true. Right now, there's no problem. Right now, you're just choosing not to value the consequences that come with school, and that's going to create other consequences. Again, no problem. Just make sure that you like the consequences you're creating for yourself. And if you don't, then the truth of the matter is you better find a way to care more about school than not at school. Make sense? It's within your control. I've tried to quit vaping. Yes. Go to my link in my bio. I want to love myself more and quit overeating. Then Planty, DM me, please. DM me and be like, hey, Andrew, I want to join your community because you're going to teach me exactly how to do all that stuff. Okay? And I'm willing to do this, and I want to be a part of it. Okay? Yeah. How do I stop vaping? Go to my bio. It's called Escape the Vape, the course I have. You're emotionally intelligent. Thank you, I am. I try to be. I also have faults like everybody else. Antonio, open heart Jesus. I do already, but not just to Jesus. And I don't believe in repenting. I think the whole idea of repenting is it's a symbol. It's a symbolism, right? It's a symbolism for taking responsibility. It isn't to make you feel bad or shameful. So I think the idea of repenting is actually used negatively in a lot of ways, when spiritually it was never designed to be that way. So just be mindful of that. Talk about vaping. I'll talk about quitting. There's 3 addictions: emotional, mental, and chemical. Sorry, I had to think. If you want to quit, you have to deal with all 3. Links in the bio. Kayla, I've tried. Yes. How do I stop comparing yourself to others? Learn how to make your thoughts more important than anybody else's. But before you do that, you have to understand how to manage your thoughts. And that's exactly what I teach people, how to manage your thoughts around your life. Okay? Do you like journaling? Yes. And in my one-on-one coaching, what happens is you get a journal you do every single day, and we start to catch patterns. So I teach you, my idea for my community right now, you guys, and let me know what you think. DM me and let me know, or just tell me now. My idea for this community is that I'm going to have people join for as cheap as possible and learn the basic education. So the course is the education I'm trying to make really, really, really affordable. And then should you decide you actually want to apply it in one-on-one coaching, like if you'll get results if you apply the information yourself, but if you want coaching to help you with it, because I believe in coaching, that's what I do, then I'm trying to make that as cheap as possible, because I want people to have access to it, and I don't want it to like literally take food off your dinner table. So my idea is to give you the foundational information for as cheap as possible, and then once you have that, we're going to get in and you'll have high access to me on a Telegram access and Voxer access, so that we can talk and do journaling throughout the day, and that'll help you apply the information. That's what I'm thinking. Okay? Vape is life. All right, that's fine. Can you discuss your thoughts on repenting? Yeah, I just think it like any spiritual thing, if it makes you feel worse than better, then you're not using it properly. Any spiritual belief and practice should make you feel more aligned and connected to God, which is unconditional love, not less aligned. So if you're using any spiritual practice to feel less aligned to God, then you're using it incorrectly. Just makes sense, right? All right. So if you want to repent and that's a good thing, it feels loving to you, go ahead. But if you're repenting because you feel shameful and hate yourself, then don't do it that way. It's not going to help you. I keep looking at my boyfriend's ex. And by the way, I'm just going to give you permission to give yourself permission to believe whatever you want about religion and spirituality. You're not a bad person for making up your own, for choosing your own beliefs to feel good to you. I keep looking at my boyfriend's ex. How to stop? Figure out why you're doing it. Are you not happy in your relationship? Oh, you mean jealousy, right? Oh, then this is a relationship with yourself issue, right? Is that you, somewhere in your consciousness, you believe that they like her more than you or them more than you, or else you wouldn't be doing that. So you need to fix those beliefs yourself. All right, guys, I gotta go. Megs, follow my account, go to my link. It's called Escape the Vape, the course I have. Even if you don't buy the course, the sales page will help you, okay? All right, I'm gonna go. It's gonna help you with all 3 addictions is what I do, okay? I'm gonna go. My mind is mush, but thanks for being here. Follow me, like me, DM me, and I'd love to have you in my community. Let me know you're interested so I can get you